Hello, Bluejays, and welcome back to The Rant.
This show highlights activities, students, staff, and organizations at Bondurant for our high school.
Let's check out what's been happening lately. Tomorrow kicks off finals week. Are you prepared? Jack Herman and Carolyn Miller have some tips.
Finals are here,
whether you like it or not.
And students have been busy getting ready for finals in whatever ways help them the most.
Here are 10 of the best ways to prepare for the horrific nightmares.
Number 10, get a good breakfast. It's important to fuel your brain the best way possible to ensure your best performance during your tests.
Number 9, flee to Canada before they arrive.
Okay. Number 8, make sure to get lots of rest the night before. Staying up until 2 a.m. probably isn't the best choice.
Number 7, curl up into a ball and cry because it's hopeless.
Number 6, maybe try studying before the test and not cramming during win.
Number 5, kill a wizard and absorb his knowledge through his immortal soul.
Number 4, make sure to read all the directions on your tests.
Number 3, bury yourself in a sack of potatoes.
What? Number 2, stay positive. Take a breather before the tests and relax. Remember, you've got this.
Sell your soul to the Dark Lord Cthulhu, because there's no hope left in this forsaken world.
Okay, this has been Jack and Carolyn giving advice for finals.
The speech team is preparing for their upcoming competition season. Evan Hill has more.
For the last 2 months, the speech team has been preparing for contest. Speech, for anyone who doesn't know, is an extracurricular activity that allows you to perform in front of judges. Each group is different from each other, given a variety of things to do. Some of these groups do assembly acting, others musical theater, and some choral reading. I interviewed Kaylin Bone for why she joined speech this year.
Because it's fun to collaborate with people who are passionate about the same things as you are.
Students of speech will have the first contest on January 25th, where they will have contests on improv, assembly acting, choral reading, musical theater, readers theater, miming, and radio broadcasts. These groups still have a few more practices to polish up their skits and readings to meet the judges' high expectations for the group. Each group gets a director to help them improve and meet expectations by the day the contest begins. This has been Evan Hill reporting for The Rant.
Last Thursday, the varsity wrestling team hosted Van Meter and Perry at home. Dayton Clark checked it out.
On Thursday, January 9th, the Bondurant for our wrestling team hosted Perry and Van Meter in a triangular meet. The Jays found a lot of success that night, recording victories over both visiting teams. Riley Anderson, wrestling at 113, kicked off the Perry match with a nice takedown. Next, we have Cannon X-Dam, wrestling at 120, getting a pin. Trevor Overbrockling, wrestling at 132, making the kid try and climb away. At 138, we have Kane Crambit also getting a pin. Neil Larson, wrestling at 160, winning his match. Then we have Porter Smith wrestling at 170, getting a pin. And last but not least for the Perry matches, we have Cody Hall wrestling at 182. Now, with the Perry matches done, we start with Chase Pfizer at 106 wrestling against Van Meter. This has been Dayton Clark reporting for The Rant.
Last week, the bowling teams competed against Newton. Braden Teed brings us the highlights.
On January 6th, the boys and girls bowling teams took on the Newton Cardinals at Great Escape in Pleasant Hill. The Blue Jays began their night with a brief warm-up to fine-tune their throws. The varsity boys started off slow, but picked up speed as the night rolled on. The varsity girls started slow as well and ultimately couldn't fight their way back. Coach Johnston tells us what they plan to improve on.
We've had a great start to our season so far. The boys and the girls teams both have winning records, have both been improving very rapidly, and we're excited about where we're headed. Coming off of state berths last year for the boys and the girls, the expectations were very, very high, but I think we're living up to that and continuing to improve every single week, and we're very excited to get going with districts and hopefully the state meet again this year.
The boys win their night with 2,767 to 2,622. The girls sadly lost, but the Jays still dominated the meet when both JV teams won their games. Newton fought hard, but the Jays won the meet, winning 3 out of 4 matches. This has been Braden Teed reporting for The Rant.
Recently, the Blue Jays dominated Boone in basketball. Levi Standing was in on the action.
On January 7th, the Boone Toreadors faced off against our basketball teams at home. The girls had a clear win, leaving Boone in the dust on the scoreboard. The Lady Jays shot confidently and played aggressive defense against the Toreadors. The game was full of and ones and epic assists. The girls made their free throws and layups as well. It seemed their defense could not be rivaled and their shots just wouldn't stop falling. The girls played as a team and it showed up on the scoreboard, 61 to 37. The boys dominated as well, winning the tip-off and scoring immediately. The boys rushed the ball forward and charged to the buckets with layups. Their outside shooting was almost flawless as well. Their three-pointers became a common occurrence as they couldn't find anything but net.
We did really good at shooting and running in transition. One thing we need to improve upon is rebounding and defense.
This has been Levi Standing, reporting for The Rant.
Maya Lenhart asks students what New Year's resolutions they have already broken in the latest installment of Jaywalking.
My failed New Year's resolution was to drink more water.
I tried to slim down on the weight, but obviously I didn't.
My failed resolution was to be mentally stable.
My New Year's resolution was to stop being late to class, but obviously that didn't work.
My New Year's resolution was to pay more attention in class, and I've already failed.
My failed New Year's resolution was to make more friends, but that was a fail.
My New Year's resolution was to be more flexible. Obviously that didn't happen.
My failed New Year's resolution was to get more sleep.
Okay, so probably my most epic failed New Year's resolution was the resolution to replace water with Mountain Dew Code Red. It turns out that that is a ridiculous amount of sugar and caffeine, and who would have guessed that it was actually bad for you? So yeah, that was one that I made when I was probably in 6th grade.
My failed New Year's resolution was not making a resolution.
A resolution I made for this year that's already failed is to be nicer to my students. Levi!
Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with more highlights from Bonnaroo High High School.
You can watch this show anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel at bluejaydigital.org. Toodles!